I'm a big fan of Yu-Gi-Oh! So much so that my entire channel is dedicated to it. And today, I'd like to share with you something interesting that I've noticed. Now in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Series, the card game is absolutely massive, to the point where it infiltrates almost every aspect of someone's life. What's interesting is that so many characters view it in such different ways. Take Yugi Moto, who shows a clear love for the game from the very start, even teaching his friend Joey how to play. And his enthusiasm for the game spills over onto his friends, and his friends, even the ones who don't play, are impressed by his knowledge, skill, and passion. And these are things that draw people into Yugi as a person, and some of the reasons people respect him so much. However, there is a character who has an almost opposite mentality to this, and that is Seto Kaiba. As far as I remember, I cannot recall a single moment I've seen Seto Kaiba enjoy dueling, because him and Yugi have completely different perspectives on it as a whole. Kaiba focuses on dueling as a means to an end, something he can utilize, but not something to enjoy. Contrasting Yugi, who is able to enjoy it so much, celebrating not only his own victories, but the victories of his friends, congratulating his opponents on clever moves they made, or moves he's never even seen before. Seeing new strategies or cards from an opponent is enjoyable for him, a joy that Seto Kaiba can never seem to achieve in this way. The difference between Yugi and Kaiba is that Yugi is able to enjoy the experience, but Kaiba is only focused on what he can gain. And this is why I think Yugi is a happier person. He's focused on the present and what can be done now. And he cares about being a positive influence on people, never bragging about his victory but showing respect to his opponent. This is another key difference between Yugi and Kaiba. Kaiba always seems to be focused on either the future or the past, focusing on his mistakes and regrets, becoming obsessed with the title of the King of Games. It does bring some positives to his character because this gives him purpose and drive and motivation, but he is simply unable to enjoy the journey because his sole focus is the destination. It's absolutely a positive thing to have goals and dreams, but if they consume your whole life and you can't enjoy the process, you probably won't enjoy the achievement either. And while Kaiba has something to strive for, Yugi has goals, but he's not looking forward to the end of it. When Yugi assembles the Millennium items, he has to defeat his friend and say goodbye to him forever. All that he is gonna have is the memories, and that's why it's so important to enjoy the experiences as they happen, because you don't know how many times you'll even have the opportunity to experience it again. One more turn, one more draw, every moment has the potential to be special. Yugi knows that his time with the Tem is limited, so does he fall into a great sadness and accept that he's gonna be gone? No. He tries to enjoy every moment he has left with him, not worrying about the future, but just enjoying the present. The lesson I take from this is to enjoy it. There's only so much time, and there's no way of knowing how much you have left. For yourself and the people around you, you don't know how many times it's going to be before the last time. Enjoy good company and allow yourself to experience life as it is now, because this exact moment is only going to happen once. Don't end up like Kaiba, obsessing over something that happened in the past, being so concerned with what has happened that you miss out on what's happening. But utilize Kaiba's positive traits. Show absolute focus to your goals for the future, but be able to accept the past. Don't let one bad thing that happened ages ago affect how you feel now. You don't have the power to change what happened in the past, but you can make choices today, take action today, and most importantly, you can enjoy today. I know Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a game, but it's not just a game. In the literal sense, obviously it's also a manga and an anime, but I never really liked the term just a game. I think it minimizes the experiences that people are able to have. It can be used to console someone when they lose because it's just a game, don't worry about it. However, the joy of victory comes from loss. If you don't feel anything when you lose, you're not going to feel anything when you win. And personally, I'd rather experience the spectrum of emotions. It's worth mentioning that I believe Yugi is more grateful than Kaiba. Kaiba always seems to be focused on what he doesn't have rather than what he does, and I believe this contributes to him being a more unhappy person than Yugi, who in comparison seems to be grateful for his friends and each experience he's able to have, seeming to treat life more as a privilege than a task. Even when compared to a character like Joey, although Kaiba is very skilled at the game of Yu-Gi-Oh!, we don't see him improve nearly as much as Joey, showing Joey's fantastic mindset. He is beaten and ridiculed by Kaiba, and while I can't say it doesn't affect him at all, he perseveres and doesn't allow this setback to stop him from becoming a better a duelist, showing that his mentality is one of improvement, constantly looking to improve his skills, and this is in part because he spends so much time with Yugi, who inspired a willingness to learn within Joey, and Joey's motivation is able to carry him through some intense moments. He's a character who tries to find a reason to win, people to win for. However, Kaiba's need for winning is usually surrounding his own selfish needs, or for the fact that he simply enjoys crushing his opponents. We see this in his victory against Joey, as he takes great pleasure in the fact that he's completely defeated him. Before they began, Joey was full of confidence, and I think it was satisfying for Kaiba to watch that confidence disappear, even if it was only for a very short period of time. There's a clear difference between Kaiba and Joey. Well, actually, there's quite a few, but the one I'm focusing on is how they respond to their difficult defeats. For this example, we're gonna compare Kaiba's loss to Yugi in the first episode, and Joey's loss to Kaiba in their battle for third place. When Kaiba loses to Yugi, he can't believe it's just happened, and like I've mentioned, he dedicates himself to beating Yugi, only ever beating him once, and the way he wins is very questionable to say the least. And after waiting so long to finally settle the score, he loses again. After his duel in Battle City against Yugi, when he loses again, he's in another state of disbelief, whereas Joey feels like he did his best. Disappointed he didn't win, but unable to overcome the pure strength of a god. So those are the circumstances surrounding the end of Battle City for both of these characters. Despite coming so close to victory, Joey isn't focused on the defeat. Instead, he wants to go straight back into dueling and prove himself against one of the best in the world, which is truly commendable from Joey, as we can see what a defeat in Battle City has done to Kaiba, making him so miserable he doesn't even want to entertain this third place duel, because if it's not first place, it's pointless to him. He does eventually agree, and he does defeat Joey, but the difference between these two is how they recover from their setbacks. Joey is affected by this loss, and it does get to him that he lost to Kaiba, and that Kaiba was mocking him, but the thing is, it doesn't affect Joey forever. He moves on and chooses to improve himself so that one day he might be able to defeat Kaiba. But Kaiba can never get past his defeat to Yugi, and his focus on the past prevents him from moving forward. Joey seems to display optimism and resilience, and Kaiba can never seem to replicate this. Kaiba never seems to gain anything from his defeats because he doesn't allow himself to. In Kaiba's mind, he is a winner, and he can't face the reality of a loss when it does happen. Don't get me wrong, Kaiba is a fantastic duelist, and it is very rare to see him lose. But the reason he's not the best is because he doesn't take anything from his defeats. He's in denial because he holds himself in such high regard he couldn't possibly fathom that he might have not been good enough. Joey turns his losses and failures into motivation, and this mindset ultimately paves the way for him to become better. Don't let one setback hold you back forever, because failing to move on from these setbacks will keep you trapped in the past. There are so many reasons why Joey Wheeler is such a great character. As long as he's making progress, he doesn't care how many times he loses, and neither should you. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing, and let me know what you've learned from Yu-Gi-Oh in the comments below.